I heard the greatest phrase when it comes to the Die Hard films and villains in general. The only thing better than a German villain is a British guy playing a German villain. I mean, can you really beat Alan Rickman playing Hans Gruber? Shoot the glass. Or Jeremy Irons as his brother? Jeremy's iron. And even when they're not British or German or whatever, the Americans get it right too. Timothy Oliphant or Elephant or whatever, he was really badass in the fourth one. So what do they have installed for the fifth Die Hard film? This guy. An overacting, tap dancing carrot eater. Guess there wasn't a third Gruber brother. So there are always two key components to a good Die Hard film. One, you have to have a good villain, which we've discussed. And by the way, it wasn't completely this guy's fault. It seemed like the writer of this film, Skip Woods, couldn't decide who the villain was. Let's spin the wheel of antagonist. Who's it gonna land on? We shouldn't be too surprised because this is the guy who wrote the first Wolverine, Swordfish, and the A-Team. All hail the king of lower middle class action. But the second component that is critical is that McClane has to have a charismatic partner. In the first Die Hard, it was Reginald VelJohnson. You know, the guy who always plays a cop. But he wasn't the only decent sidekick. Samuel L. Jackson in the third installment, and even Justin Long, were great tag-alongs. Which is maybe why Die Hard 2 didn't work as much. I mean, who was his sidekick in that one? The little guy? But Hi Courtney really works as John's equal partner and son. I was a little weary of him in the first place for a couple reasons. One, the suspension of disbelief with the McClane family has grown a little thin over 5 movies. It's one thing to bring in his daughter. She gets caught up in everything, she gets kidnapped, and you can see that she's tough as nails just like her dad. But to make Jack, his only son, a CIA operative, you start to think, how tough is this friggin' family? The second reason I was weary of a father-son team-up in an already established action franchise is we've seen it already. And not successfully. Hi Courtney, however, didn't detract at all from the movie. His acting, his character, and his relationship with John actually added to the story. I, for one, would even go so far as to say that one day Hi Courtney could probably even take over the franchise. Let's not get ahead of ourselves, though. This franchise does and forever will belong to Bruce Willis, and once again, he carries the film. You get everything you'd expect from Willis in a Die Hard movie. The one-liners, the dry wit, and the apparent indestructibility. I love it when the 57-year-old does a dozen barrel rolls in a Russian Jeep and he gets out like... Wow, I should really be more careful. Since, once again, he's the best thing in the film, since there's no Gruber brother, Bruce Willis is a good day to Die Hards for the win. This is not the best Die Hard in the franchise, though. Aside from Woods trying to force twists on the audience, there's even less of a story than you'd expect when it comes to even action films. The story that is there is weak and leaves a lot of questions. What was John going to do when he got to Russia? Break Jack out of prison? Fly all the way there just to have a chat with his estranged son? Why was Cole Hauser only in the movie for 10 minutes? Why did the filmmakers choose Russia if they wanted to represent global terrorism? Seems like an odd choice. Is it 1989? But that's the gist of it. In early 2013, we are seeing a series of resurrections when it comes to early action stars. Thing is, their movies are dying. The irony being that Willis won't die. By the way, if you want the franchise to keep on living, don't hire a director like John Moore who makes mediocre remakes or mediocre action. Die Hard seems to be a very apt title, and even though the franchise is a little dated, at least this attempt was, it's still very entertaining, and it's still an earn it. Fun little drinking game when it comes out on Blu-ray. Every time McClane says, "I'm on vacation," take a shot. Real Schoolers, don't forget about my Oscar giveaway. Check out the video for contest details and be sure to join us on Oscar night as we will be tweeting live. Also be sure, if you're a Die Hard fan, to check out my top 5 Willis films. But until next time, school's out.